He heard the barn door slam shut loudly, waking him from a dream. At the time, he was sleeping in the reclining chair in the living room, right from the television. Unfortunately, the TV was showing only black and white lines. Jack picked up the TV remote and then proceeded to change the channel. Instead, he would see the numbers on the TV change but still show the same thing repeatedly. There it was again, the barn door slamming shut as if it was moving independently. But instead, it slammed shut, not once this time, but twice. The man looks around the living room where he sits, surveying the room to see if anything has changed. That is when he noticed one of the sliding doors was cracked open, just enough for something to come into the house. When Jack was about to stand up, he fell back onto the chair as if something were weighing him down. He proceeds to get a closer look at his legs. It hit him like tons of bricks, the questions that are. "Why I can't move my legs," the man said to himself. "Why is the barn door slamming open and then shut repeatedly? Why when the sliding doors crack open? Then more questions keep on coming out of nowhere." Jack wiggled his left leg and then his right leg trying to get free. He looks at both his legs again and sees something glowing and white that got him pinned to the floor like super glue. A brilliant white, bright green glue started to move up his legs every time Jack tried to break free. Ring, ring. His cell phone was going off on top of the poker table he set up early in the day for tonight's poker game. In reality, it was only a few feet away, yet it felt like miles to him. Once again, Jack tries again to get up from the chair. The entire room begins to shake, leaving Jack uneasy. His eyes caught a glimpse of a fog that started to roll in from the corner of his eyes. As the fog rolled in, Jack saw it was not just any ordinary fog, but a thick, eerie mist that seemed alive. It swirled and danced around the room as if it had a mind. The barn door continued to slam shut repeatedly, and Jack could hear the sound of movement coming from outside. He knew he had to leave the house before something terrible happened. Jack tried to stand up again, but the glowing white held him down firmly. He could feel it moving up his legs, slowly but surely, and he knew he had to act fast. Jack reached for his phone, which was still ringing on the poker table, and managed to grab it with his right hand. He answered the call, and on the other end, he heard the panicked voice of his best friend. "Jack, get out of the house! Something is wrong with the barn, and I hear strange noises. I'm on my way over now." Jack knew his friend was right, and he had to leave the house before it was too late. Jack strained to move his legs again, but the glowing substance had now reached his waist and moved upward. He could feel its cold, slimy touch on his skin, and he knew it was only a matter of time before it consumed him entirely. With all his strength, Jack stood up and took a few steps towards the door. The room was still shaking, and the fog was thicker by the second. He could hear something moving inside the barn, and he knew he had to get out of there fast. He stumbled towards the door, his legs still held down by the glowing substance. He reached for the doorknob and turned it, but the door wouldn't budge. The door locked from the outside. Jack knew he was trapped. He could hear his friend's car approaching, but knew he would never make it in time. The fog was closing in around him, and Jack could feel the cold, slimy touch of the glowing substance on his face. He knew he would die, and he could do nothing about it. Jack closed his eyes and whispered a prayer as the mist enveloped him. He could hear his friend's car pull up outside, but it was too late. The fog consumed him, and with one final breath. Minutes later, the fire department arrived at Jack's cabin and entered the place. They found no trace of Jack, no sign of struggle, or any indication of a fight. Jack's fate remains a mystery to this day.